Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe, and everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This could be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read. If you like a personal read, just simply check out the description below, and I'll be happy to assist you with doing so. Remember that tarot is a tool, it is not the final rule. So it's a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up, okay? Today we're doing the 3 Kipper deck read, okay? All right. The 3 Kipper deck read. Hope you all are doing wonderful. Be sure to tell a family, friend, or foe, or to come on over and subscribe to the channel so that they can be privy to these spiritual notifications. There is enough space in this place for everyone to be notified. Oh, and thank you for stopping by and saying hi. Hi. Okay. The collective need to know for their hi is good. All right. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the first card that we have for collective is number 36, Distant Horizons, okay? And so that 3 and the 6 is equaling a 9, okay? And that represents fulfillment and attainment. So there could be something that you have been trying to manifest, and maybe you've been feeling like that it was not going to happen or it wasn't going to come into fruition. But with the number 9 being present here, this is confirmation that what you have been desiring in your life on your path, it is closer than you think. Now, this card says distant horizons. And so with this energy, I'm getting you thought that it was maybe going to happen, but maybe not now. Maybe there's something you've been trying to manifest or you've been hoping for or praying for. There could be a desire. There could be an urgent need or matter within your home life or something within your finances, and you may have been trying to, manifest a particular amount of money. This could also be someone's waiting for some kind of approval letter, collective. And so Spirit is confirming that what you thought was not going to come, it will be arriving. But for you to maintain, in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul, expect a positive outcome. And so help is on the way. It may not arrive in how you are imagining things, but help is on the way. So if this is financial, this could be you receiving discounts when you go different places, okay? And you may be saying discounts, yes. When it comes to manifestation and you're trying to maybe create more money for yourself, I'm picking up on someone who wants to, you have a goal in mind of a certain amount of money you would like to save. You could, just be out, just running errands and receive discounts or receive like things like buy one, get one free. You may also experience maybe someone offering to pay it forward while you're paying for your food in line, all kinds of things, all kinds of offers. Discounts, information, having conversations with total strangers about discounts, all of this, it may be small in a sense, but it is a blessing and it is a favor and an opportunity from the divine, whether big or small, even if it's just information, even if it's just a discount. Also, someone could be showing you how to apply for some kind of funding as well. Maybe you're interested in applying for a grant. Maybe you've been doing research on this and you've been unable to find help with doing so. And so there could be someone who is not related to you, Spirit is saying, who's going to show you how to apply for that grant, what is needed, what is the requirements, and where to apply, okay? And I'm also picking up that, oh, wow. I'm also picking up the people that you have been asking about this information. They have information, but they just chose not to give it to you, collective. So you may have asked someone in your family because immediately you heard me just mention this is someone that's not in your family. So Spirit is saying there's someone close to you who you inquired about applying for a grant and you wanted information and you want to know, could they help you, show you where to go, how to complete the paperwork, blase, blase. And the reason that you approach this person, because this is someone who has obtained many of grants in the past and they have been successful. But when you chose to go to them to ask them for the information, they told you they couldn't help you or they don't know how to do that. And I'm also picking up that you did not become hostile when they responded in that tone. You just simply said, okay, and walked away. So it's like you just took it to the chin, like, okay, whatever, I know you're lying to me, but I'm just going to move on. So spirit is saying clearly this is for someone Pacific. That person just didn't want to pass the information. There are people like that. There are people who feel that if they light your candle, it's going to blow out theirs. So they will gatekeep information. They will withhold different information that could be beneficial to you, especially when it comes to how to, obtain money, wealth, or any kind of progress in life. There are people who actually do that. Now, I understand that there are certain levels of information that must be reserved for many reasons, for many laws and many reasons, but Spirit is saying clearly this person, and they're saying that that this person did have the information, but because you only approached them because you are aware that they have received this kind of financial assistance before. The paperwork went through fine, and they've done it more than once. But when you approached them, they told you they knew nothing about it and they don't know how to assist you. Okay, so clearly you did the right thing by holding your peace. But someone, some way, somehow, it's going to be a stranger though that's going to show you how to go about this. And so, a lot of times it comes up in reads, and I speak on it all the time in my reads. That when it comes to progressing in life, no one, not no one. Let me correct that. There are a majority of the people, that are around you collective really don't want to see you shine. Even the ones who smile at you and shake your hand. The moment you turn your back, if they know your next plan, they will be speaking against it. Why is it that way? Often your progress could send a reflection of things that they have given up on. And it's never too late, to progress in life, whatever it is, whatever you choose to do. But some people feel that way. And so this person is gatekeeping information. This could be an older sibling, an aunt, an uncle. This can also be a friend of the family. I'm picking up they could be an entrepreneur, or they could be into real estate. They own some kind of property. They're connected to some kind of real estate. And, this is someone who wants to see you in the energy of poverty. Doesn't mean that this is who you are, but this is someone who just doesn't want to see you win. So what you've been hoping for and manifesting and petitioning, it is on the way. Okay, the next card we have here is give to confirm it. So even though that there are people around you who may not want you to win, and you may not have, the grant situation may not apply to you. So put the reading where it resonates, but you may be someone who's trying to maybe apply for a loan, or maybe you want to know how to, it could be anything, how to start a business. Maybe you're applying for school. It can be anything. And I'm just picking up that someone is gatekeeping information. They're holding it and they're lying to you. And it's because they desire to see you in this impoverished energy. Basically, metaphorically speaking, this poverty card is speaking of this person withholding information because they do not want you to receive, access or options to having a better life or having choices. You see as shiny and beautiful as this box is with this beautiful ribbon. They rather, you not have access to that. They are desiring to see you in this energy. This doesn't mean this is who you are. This is where, your haters, there's people around you who want to see you in this energy. So Spirit is saying, be mindful of who you share your information with. It's okay to deal with your family. I'm not saying cut them off. If you need to, cut them off. Okay. It's not a difficult thing. You're not going to be loved any less. But if a person is not fitting their description, what's the point? Okay. All right. What's the point? Listen to Be for Better. What's the point? Yeah, that hip hop song. Yeah, she's speaking truth all through it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but either way, what they are desiring for you, it's not going to work because you're being persistent in your endeavors. You're steady moving ahead and you are working on your desires, whomever you are, whatever your goals are. But there are some haters around you. There are some people who just don't want to see you win. So you can be in contact, as I said, with your family or whatever. But when they ask you how you're doing, collective, you do not have to literally tell them what you're doing. When it comes to your finances, your next move, your love life, things like that. If you have children, information about your children, keep all that off the table because there's someone around you who is not desiring for you to live your best life. And you can do what you want. We have free will, but it will taint the process of your manifestation. You don't need anybody, their thoughts, a person's thoughts of you and knowing your next move or what you're up to can taint, what you have going on. I'll just leave that right there. Okay. All right. So you want to be careful. You don't have to share everything. There's many of things, as I shared in another read, there's many of things that you can talk about when you see a friend or a family member. You can have a lot of great, positive, nice conversation. You can talk about sports, the weather, clothing, hairstyles, recipes. But when it comes to your business, keep it off limits, okay? Because we want to make sure that unexpected money arrives to you safe and easy, okay? And consistently. You want this cash to flow to you consistently. You want the pathway of abundance to be open to you. So be mindful. You have to stop sharing your business and your information. That's for someone specifically. Whenever they're having me repeat it, it's someone who really is sharing too much of their information. You are desiring, Spirit is saying you are desiring for these people to be your cheerleaders, but the reality is it's just not that way, darling. They are hoping for you not to get ahead. These could be people who have given up on things in their own life for whatever reason, okay? It could be many reasons, okay? These people could even be hoping that you don't find love as well, okay? With the lover's card here, hoping that you stay in an energy of being single, not being able to love yourself as well as be loved by someone else. So this could be a cousin, this could be a sibling, this could also be a parental figure. It happens. People don't want to hear it, but it happens. And just because you don't want to hear something or you choose to be oblivious doesn't mean it's not happening. Just because you don't believe in something doesn't mean it's not happening. So uh, be careful. Be careful with what you're sharing, okay? Even if you get a raise at work, and I don't care if they say 25-cent raise coming, you know what? Keep that to yourself. You don't need nobody speaking over nothing you have going on that is valuable to you. And your finances is valuable to you. That's how you support yourself. That's how you support your family. And something about sharing information about your children. There are people even, who don't want to see your children in a positive light or being safe or successful. So be mindful. Okay, I know people show up and they ask for tickets to graduations and they want to, but they really don't mean it. So, yeah. The next card we have here is occupation. So you could be, at work, you're minding your business, you're maintaining your daily life, but you are wondering, you have been wondering, while you're working, like, when is it going to come through? I haven't heard anything yet. Spirit is saying you're just going to have to hurry up and wait a little longer, but it's going to arrive right on time. Okay. And keep in mind, it may not arrive the way that you expect, but it's going to arrive. This information could come through a total stranger. You could meet someone who could give you information or show you something who's not even related to you. If you are applying for a grant or you want to know about some kind of paperwork being completed or how to start a business, I'm picking up for someone. Okay. Mhm. It's okay to ask for help, and everyone doesn't know everything. It's okay to ask for help, especially when it comes to documentation. Okay. And now I'm hearing something about a first time homeowners program. Maybe there's some kind of program where you live, where maybe you're interested in purchasing a home and you're going to hear about this. Okay. But they have so many applications they're giving out, and you're going to hear about this, and you may be led to and given the information to go and apply, for this housing program, and this information could come through a male figure. Okay. But it could come through a stranger, I'm picking up. Okay. a total stranger. Okay. All right. Let's get the second kipper deck. What else the collective needs to know about these haters? What else the collective needs to know? What else they need to know? Okay. One second, ladies and gentlemen. One second here. Yeah, so yes, you're busy working on things changing in your life, a metamorphosis. Change is always happening inside and outside of us, and you're desiring to have more. And you're willing to do the work, you're willing to walk the walk and not just talk the talk. And the ambition in you, collective, it's beginning to make people feel some kind of way. Now, this topic comes up, but it's just the truth. We laugh, we kiki, we smile with people, but deep down inside, what's behind the smile? When you turn your back, are these people genuinely for you? And so this is just the energy, and it's in the message. You may not want to hear it, but there are people, once again, they're in a business of minding your business, and your transformation of your life, your upgrade, your level of progress is irritating them. I'm also picking up on someone who is very unbothered, and that is bothering people, which is hilarious because how you gonna bother somebody if you ain't bothering them? I cannot. How, collective? How can you bother somebody if you're not bothering nobody? So I'm picking up on somebody who's watching or who's going to see this video, or you may know someone who's like this. They're not arrogant. They're not introverted or extroverted. Someone who's like a loner who loves being alone. They know that's their time where they can fine tune their spiritual connection. Um, like a sweetheart energy, very kind, soft spoken, very smart, very soft spoken, very smart. But they like being to themselves. And this is someone who's been this way their entire life. They have friends, they have family, but they just love being to themselves. So I'm picking up that this is this person's energy. And because they like being to themselves, basically, I'm not going to even say being to themselves, they're different. And there are people who are becoming angry. Oh, this is hilarious because this person is minding their business. This is weird. This is weird. There are people who are angry, collective, because you are minding your business. It is bothering people. You could be someone who's maybe you're in a relationship, maybe you're not, maybe you're dating, or you could be a single person as well. But as I said, this person is a sweetheart. I have good lady here. Very kind heart, beautiful spirit, but loves to be alone, very resourceful, very independent, knows how to take care of themselves very well. Okay. And I believe what's bothering people is you love your alone time, collective, but at the same time, you really know how to handle your business. You really about that life. And when I say you know how to persevere, you know how to, when it comes to adulting, you know what to do. Because with house here, and as you see, these vines are growing outside of this house, this is representing you. People may see you by yourself and assume that you're alone, but you're actually not. None of us are never alone. You come off as very abundant as well. You just know how to handle things, and people are observing you, and they look at you like, wow, this is, wow, I never see the collective with nobody, but the line is always cut. That kind of energy. I never see the collective with nobody, and it's always quiet. Or I never see the collective with nobody, but they're always smiling and waving, but then go in the house, that kind of energy. You mind your business so well. You got people scratching their heads. So basically, once again, they're in the business of minding your business, but people are trying to figure you out because they see you as very abundant, and you are abundant. That's what they see because that's what it is. And abundance is more than money. You're very resourceful, very resilient, independent. You know how to take care of business. Okay. And this could be people who are in situations. This could be couples. This could be people who maybe you're single, and these are people who are married or they have a spouse, and they're like, wow, The collective is by themselves. Like I just gave the example, like, but the line is always cut. Wow. And it's more of them in a household, and it's just one of you, or maybe you and your children. They're like, wow, it's like magic. How are they doing it? Wow, the collective must be very gifted. You're very magical. So you come off as very magical, like you're very gifted. They feel like you're waving your wand somewhere. And in actuality, you're very spiritually inclined and in tune, and you're just minding your business. That's what I'm picking up, but it's irritating some folks. So there could be people having conversation about you, wondering, what you do for a living. They could be pocket watching too, trying to figure you out. You have folks that do that. I never understood the pocket watching theory, because someone else's responsibility is really none of my business. And why do I want to figure out their monthly income? For what? But someone wants to know, like, how do you do it? Because they look at life as a journey. They look at life as stressful. And, we all are different. We all are uniquely, individually, divinely created. And they could also be with the number 10 here. You could have people who know you, who are watching you close out different cycles in your life. And you're constantly coming off as amazing. When they have, shed lots of tears over things that you have, you could just run circles around them 20 times. They're the type, you get in a pickle, the first thing they want to do is go into their emotions. And if you get into a pickle, the first thing you about to do is resolve it and move on to the next. Like, okay, next. Okay. So you're very spiritually inclined. You have a good spirit, very positive spirit, with good lady here. You're not a negative person, is what I'm trying to say. You're not someone who complains, okay? And that is helping you. That is assisting you. But with the number 10 here, as I was holding up Journey, there's these people who are watching you, these are people who are ungrateful. They're likely to complain about life, complain about what they see on TV, complain about the price of chicken. These are people who are miserable. They're unhappy. Even if you told them, hey, you should just be grateful, these are people who are likely to frown at you and look at you like, what do you mean be grateful? Are you crazy? They don't get it. At the end of the day, the middle, the beginning doesn't matter. The only thing you can do is what you can and surrender the rest. Life isn't perfect for anyone, and everyone will have experiences. But attitude, you know, uh, it's very important. Having gratitude should be your attitude. But with that 10 there could also be people who have watched you close out cycles repeatedly. And when I say close out cycles, they have watched you experience things and move on, experience another and move on, and you are tripping people out. And it's funny, but you know what, at the end of the day, while they're pocket watching and being disturbed, not wanting you to get ahead, gatekeeping information, they know, you know that they better put some respect on your name. What they're thinking and feeling in their head, in the back of their minds, they'll never say directly to your face. But what I'm channeling is how they think about you, and when they see you, what they're saying to themselves when they have you in observation. But they know darn well, when it comes to seeing you face to face, if you wave, they're going to wave back. If you smile, they're going to smile back, and it's going to be nothing but respect with high honor here. So this is yeah, that hater energy. The hater energy. Yes. Okay. And the next card we got here is prison. So yes, these people are negative. They feel like everything is a prison. They feel like they are stuck. And the reality is they are not stuck. These are people who are not willing to take the steps necessary. I just said you could be, a person who's holding things down by yourself. They could be in a relationship and can't figure it out. There's one of you, it could be 4 or 5 of them, and they still can't get it together. With extra, I'm talking about with 4 or 5 streams of income plus some more coming through the door, and they can't figure it out. But like I said, these are people who have a negative perception and just a bad outlook on life and on people, And it's not about pretending and being fake, but gratitude should always be the attitude, just having spirit in you, just having breath in you each and every day should always be your attitude, like period, and the rest is gonna be history. It's gonna be all right, you know. It's gonna be all right. What else collective need to know about these people gatekeeping information that wanted to come out? About these people watching, observing, pocket watching, about this blessing and favor. What we doing here? 1 second again, ladies and gentlemen. I picked up a card. Yeah, they feel like they are in prison, but this is all in their mind. This is just their way of thinking. This is all in their mind. They're not in prison. They're not confined. That's the way they feel about themselves. And there's nothing we can do when it comes to how people feel about themselves and about life. Most likely whatever issues they're dealing with are deep rooted, and it has nothing to do with you. That is personal. This could be something that happened in their childhood that has nothing to do with you. Maybe things didn't go well in grade school. Maybe they were bullied a lot. That has nothing to do with you. Okay, so everybody have their own thing going on, okay? Yes. See, dishonesty. Yes, you got them watching. You got them watching and they lurking. And these are people that know you and people that don't know you. Watching, lurking, gossiping, wondering. Don't come over here asking me for information on how to fill out some paper. I ain't telling them ish. That's hot. That's hot. Getting on the phone immediately. Guess who came over here? I got something to tell you. Because people will collaborate with the one fact that they have in common. The other person they talking to, they're a hater also. They envy you too. So they could be collaborating with other people, having these discussions about you. Guess who came over here? Guess who called me? Talking about they want to start a business. They about to buy a house. I ain't giving them nothing. I ain't telling them shh. And then the other person on the phone, I know that's right, girl. I wouldn't tell her nothing. Or I wouldn't tell him nothing. Male or female. That's how it be. Coming over here talking about progressing. Coming over here talking about who they dating. Coming over here talking about they in love. They about to get married. Don't nobody want to hear that. Tell you, that's how them haters be. Look, confirming journey, confirming, they have watched you for a long time. For some people, you have people who have watched you possibly your entire life and just have been very envious and jealous, and for no reason. This energy is unwarranted. That's what I said. This could be a relative. This could be someone who knows you, who has watched you develop from a child into an adult. Okay. So. Yeah, don't want you to find love either, high honor, but they know, they will never say these things to your face. They will never say these things to your face. High honor twice. They will never, they know better, collective. They know better. They talk that issue on the phone and to everybody else, but they will never. Because guess why? Because they know they will come off as a what? A hater, so it's like a secret between the clique, when we see the collective, we'll smile at them, but we really don't want them to win. Folks are very concerned, about you, becoming, rich, but about you becoming wealthy, with gift here. They're concerned. Oh yeah. The card's gonna do what they do. Yes. But see, the thing is, it's about gratitude. It says hope, great water. You're someone that sees the cup half full. You try to keep a positive outlook on life. It doesn't mean that you're perfect, and it's not your fault because these people have unresolved and unhealed issues. There are people who run around the world each and every day unhealed. These are people whom, we cross paths with when we're running our errands, when we're going to work, when we're patronizing different business. There are so many people who will never address their deep-rooted issues, and they just simply move along through life, projecting their energy onto other people. Okay. Yeah, they're very concerned. So someone could be concerned about someone going to court and winning some money, okay? You could have some kind of unexpected money, that is headed your way, that people could be, where that unexpected money at, that people could be very concerned with, okay? Very concerned with this court card here about you winning the case or receiving the money. There could be someone somewhere falsifying documents, as I do this read, hoping that you don't receive this money, or maybe you'll miss your mail, or they're certifying it. Oh, give the court a different address, well, hopefully the court will have enough sense to look up the address on their own, because there could be somebody, that's for somebody who could receive some unexpected money. And this person in court is hoping that you don't respond to the mail, or you miss a court date, and here it is again. Someone is receiving some unexpected money. So I started off with this at the beginning, so remain in positive energy. When it comes to how things are going to turn out for you, expect a positive outcome. Remain optimistic about your present as well as your future. Okay. And don't be hyper focused. If you're manifesting something, put that request in and find something else to occupy your time. It will arrive. And here is court again. Okay. So someone is concerned, collective. Someone is very concerned. They're hoping you don't show up. They're hoping you miss your mail. Okay. It could be this person here. This could be a relative. This could be a relative that has stolen money from you. Okay, someone falsifying documents, trying to make it as if they don't know where you are. Okay, they know darn well where you are. They just don't want to split the money, or they don't want to share. Okay, or maybe you are someone who has a baby father or a baby mother or something who has transitioned, and maybe your child is due some kind of inheritance from a lawsuit, maybe a wrongful death suit. That's for somebody. And the family is hiding it, and they've been hiding it for several years. Okay. But someone's very concerned. They're very concerned. Theft. They're concerned about going to jail. They're hoping you don't respond. Okay. Sad news. Someone is receiving sad news. Yeah. That we know that you're a thief. Looks like somebody will be incarcerated. Okay. So make sure you're paying attention to your mail that comes through. Don't assume that anything is junk mail and just toss it out in the trash. Don't assume that. Okay. Yeah, this could be someone who has, passed away. Maybe someone, has left you in their will or something. You did not know it. You were unaware. Okay. And there are a lot of times that probate will freeze accounts and freeze assets until certain parties are present. Okay. But you are the main character. So remain optimistic. Make sure you're looking at all your mail thoroughly. Stay in a positive space and place. Stop sharing your business, your next plans, and moves. The people that you are expecting and desiring to support you, collective, they are not. They are envious and jealous, and they want to see you without, and they are desiring to see you in lack. So keep your business to yourself. But you can trust and believe that help is on the way. There's unexpected money on the way. Okay? Later.